Hello guys, Ivan here at the Perth WAtch channel. Welcome back to the channel and to a video today that is different to anything I've done today. I didn't know that I was going to do a video quite like this until later on, but I saw Doctor Strange last week. It has just come out on DVD. I missed it on the cinemas, but I finally been able to watch it. And the strong themes about time and manipulation of time just struck me, and I thought I'd have to get these thoughts out there while you're fresh. So this is going to be a quick look, not quite a full tilt review. You know, there's many out there done by professionals who do it better than me, but I'm going to put out thoughts from, you know, a watch enthusiast perspective. So before we start, I'll just do a quick wristwatch check, and tonight it's a warm night. It's 30 degrees last time I checked. It's midnight, and 30 degrees is over 80 Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius. So it's a warm night, and my Citizen titanium chronograph AT is just comfortable. It's so light, and it's good for the warmer weather, so I've chosen that. Okay, so wristwatch check done. This is a movie on one of my favorite characters. I have to put in some spoilers. I don't think I can discuss it without mentioning some things that might spoil the movie, so this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it and you don't want to know any plot developments or character developments, please don't watch the rest of this video. Go and watch the movie first. Okay, so I think this is clearly always been one of my favorite characters. I've always been the nerd who picks magic user as a character, so Doctor Strange was always a natural favorite of mine. And then, you know, him being an MD, that's another kind of relation that I have with the character. So it's always been my favorite, up there with Iron Man, with the Tony Stark character, before any movies were ever made, you know, when I was a teenager or even before that. I'm so surprised that this came out, and it's just, I think, clearly the most horological of all Marvel movies to date, you know, and all comic movies. I think, you know, there are probably more time-orientated movies out there, but I think in terms of comic movies, there's nothing that comes close to this. So, you know, it's just a joy for, I guess, someone who's interested in watches and time. So, you know, I want to just put some thoughts out there. The character of Doctor Strange in the comics versus what they portrayed in the movie, I think it's pretty close, actually. You know, Doctor Strange in the comic similarly was an arrogant surgeon. You know, lots of pride, lots of I guess confidence in his abilities, and you know, Benedict Cumberbatch just played that well. Gets into an accident, and in the comics it was also a car accident that ends up damaging the nerves in his hands, so his ability as a surgeon was compromised, and then he goes on a search which leads him eventually to find the mystic characters, you know, the Ancient One, who he gets to learn the arts from. And so very similar character arc in the Marvel Cinematic Universe character. Some comments on the casting. I think Cumberbatch is a near perfect cast. You know, he really looks the part. You know, after he gets the outfit, the cape, he just, it looks like a fantastic update of the Doctor Strange comic character. They were going to cast Joaquin Phoenix, I think. And I just don't think Joaquin Phoenix would have had the same air, so I'm happy that they got Cumberbatch, you know, a British character, but he you know, I don't think the accent came out very strongly. He played it very well, I thought. Chiwetel Ejiofor, who played Mordo, a fantastic actor. You know, 12 Years a Slave is a great movie, highly recommended, and he just took to the character very well. I mean, I think the comic character originally was a white character, you know, I think from a European country, but he just made his own, I thought. And then Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is I guess it's not that well known, but I think she played the Ancient One to a T. You know, the Ancient One in the comics is supposed to be ancient. Sorry, it's supposed to be Asian, because he goes to the east and was a male. They changed it up to a white Celtic female. Some people have argued that that's probably too much of a change, but I liked how she played it. And you know, one of my favorite movies that she was in was Only Lovers Left Alive, one of the best vampire movies ever, and highly recommended as well. And she acted in that with Tom Hiddleston as vampires. And how interesting that the two main characters in that movie are now transposed to the Marvel universe, both as immortal, you know, forever living type of characters. And Tom Hiddleston obviously as Loki, Thor's brother. And last casting comment I'll mention is Rachel McAdams, you know, another great actor, Oscar nominee I think for her role in that movie of the year, Spotlight. She played it well. I don't know her character. She played Christine Palmer, who's I think a night nurse in the Marvel Universe. So I don't know that background very well, but I think she played off Cumberbatch well enough as the main love interest, the love interest in this film. So you know that's already such great casting without even touching on the bad guy. You know, Mads Mikkelsen, who played the main antagonist of the film. Okay, so now I won't comment much more about you know, the goods and bads and the strengths of the film before the end. I just want to touch on the horology themes, and there is just so much. Multiple slow motion scenes, the operation, the accident, you know, scenes of the astral projection. It's just a great use of the time motif. There was a watch drawer which raised a lot of attention actually in the watch world. So at the start, Cumberbatch's character is quite a hedonist, and you know, he has got this watch drawer. It opens and there's these. I think there were 9 or 10 watches in view, and they were all expensive pieces. And you know, the ones that were spotted were, there was a Cosmograph Daytona, the Rolex. There's a Tag Heuer Monaco in there. There's a JLC Grand Reverso red-colored watch, I believe. And then the main feature watch of the film, which he wears for most of the film, is a Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin Perpetual. You know, it retails for 19,000 USD. So suffice to say, I don't think I'll ever be touching that watch. Maybe we'll see if I ever get my hands on something like that. But you know, beautiful perpetual calendar watch that he used for the rest of the film. At the back of the watch, there's an engraving from Christine. Time will tell you how much I love you. The spell work, you know, the machinations of the spell work in this film look like watch movements, you know, clockwork movements. They are round usually, and then they have rotation and interactions with rotation elements. So that was a nice interplay, I thought. I don't know how deliberate that was, but I like the look of the spells. One of the conversations that he has with you know, Tilda Swinton's character while they were astrally projected was great. I thought it was lots of time motifs again. It was a frozen moment. She talks about how time is relative. I'll just let the scene do the talking by itself. Have a look at the clip here.
Now you don't have time.
Time is relative. Your body hasn't even hit the floor yet. I've spent so many years peering through time, looking at this exact moment, but I can't see past it. I've prevented countless terrible futures, and after each one there's always another, and they all lead here. You'd think after all this time I'd be ready. But look at me, stretching one moment out into 1,000, just so that I can watch the snow.
So, you know, a great moment in the film, one of my favorites, that frozen snow look. It can be overdone, I think, but I think in this case they used it correctly. So, you know, I loved that scene. And then one of the central ideas is the Infinity Stone that's featured in this movie. You know, if you've been following the cinematic universe in Marvel, there's this Infinity Stone introduction. You know, stones of great power. You have the Tesseract, the blue, you know, cube in Avengers that controlled space. Loki's scepter, and the yellow stone, which controlled mind. That's why Loki could control people. Now it's in Vision's forehead, of course. The ether, the red stone in Thor 2, the fairly forgettable movie, but that was another Infinity Stone. And then the fourth stone was in Guardians of the Galaxy, the purple orb of power that Ronan, you know, in that movie, and Thanos was looking for in the whole movie, and they fought over that. And then here is the fifth stone, the Eye of Agamotto, one of the classic Doctor Strange relics. They have transcribed that into an Infinity Stone, and of course it is none other than the Time Stone, represented by the green color in this movie. So, you know, that's really, I think, the central reason why there's so much time thematic elements in this movie, which is fantastic for us. And then last but not least, the ending battles and the ending resolution, you know, both were based on great tricks of time. You know, that ending battle, I won't mention exactly how they use the time trick, but it's something you have to watch. It's like nothing I've seen. And it tops even the great scenes earlier in the movie, you know, where the buildings were folding in themselves. I thought that was just, it was just mind-blowing, you know, the special effects in this film. Two little gripes I'll mention. I think one of the good characters turns bad in a different way. I guess I won't. It's hard to spoil this. Hard to avoid spoiling this, but you know, one of the main characters in the end, in an after scene, you see that he's probably got a change of alignment, and I think it was a bit too obvious from his name. He's actually a villain in the Marvel universe. And then the other thing is the pacing. I thought the pacing of Stephen Strange's development was just a bit quick. They cut this movie to 1:50. In fact, the credits started running at 1:45, so it's a short movie in this day and age. And you know, I thought they had to shortcut some of his development, so that just felt a little bit too quick from going from doing nothing to being, you know, near Sorcerer Supreme. A little bit shortcutted, I thought. You know, but otherwise those are just little nitpicks. It's a great cast. Some of the best special effects you'll see. I hear people tell me in 3D this is fantastic, you know, if you have a chance to watch it in 3D. The great themes, not just the time, but the fact that all of the characters had ambiguities. Even the main villain truly believed, I think, in this movie that he was trying to do the right thing. You know, he was trying to save the world by stopping time. And you know, one of the great conversations he has with Strange is that they argue about time. He says, you know, you think it's about bad and good, but I'll tell you what, time is the great enemy. Time destroys all things. Everything dies because time passes. You know, that's, you know, very memorable good guy, bad guy conversation. You know, and then the complexities of the plot and how people change alignments and develop through the movie. So, you know, highly recommend it for anyone. You know, it's highly rated, and especially for watch lovers, it's just such a great treat. So, you know, go and watch it if you haven't already. I don't know why you would watch this video to the end, but you know, go and watch it if you haven't. Let me know what you think if you have. So I hope that's been an enjoyable you know, video on my thoughts on Doctor Strange, and I'll leave you guys with one of my favorite little joke scenes, which I really enjoyed. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Rest.
Meditate, if you can. The Ancient One will send for you.
What's this, my mantra?
The Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.